Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Week Ahead Report, or the Morning Debrief. It's currently 8:27, it's the 26th of November, and of course one day after Thanksgiving in the US. The states came back from their Thanksgiving holidays. Things pretty quiet. Played a little bit of catch-up. The Dow was down about 25 points. S&P was down a fraction as well. I guess at the end of the day, Europe's been down but over the week, but we had a bit of a kickback in Europe, which was quite positive given the set of news that has been dealt. I guess one of the big issues coming out, and we'll run through it, the refinancing of European countries' debts. Germany had a weak bond option, same with Italy. Italy's actually short-term bill rates actually doubled from about 3.3% to about 7%, which is not a very good sign indeed. Also, we had S&P re-ratings of Belgium down a notch, not too good, and also Hungary down a notch as well. So things in Europe are remaining relatively uncertain, and the contagion continues. Okay, let's have a quick snapshot around the world. Dow, we said, was down 25 points. S&P was down 3. Nasdaq was down 18. The top 50 was down at 21. Up 21. Sorry, the FTSE was up 37. The CAC was up 34, and the DAX up 64. Looks like we had a nice short covering rally there. In those markets. Our local market too was up just a fraction as well. Just try and get that. In fact, there's been a bit of a change here that I can't get some of the data I need, but that's okay. Some of the futures data's off, but anyway, our local market was down, but it did manage to close at 4,007, so it was relatively positive. Having a look at the commodities. Crude oil up a little bit, which was good. West Texas was up 60 cents at 96.77. Brent was down. That spread's come back below $10, which is good, and obviously we think there's a little bit more to come there. So that's Brent 106 down 1.38. Looking at the agricultural sector, all pretty negative. Corn down 5, wheat was down 5, soybeans were down 16. Still concerns out of China in terms of the PMI. That's a big data out next week as well, so we're going to have to be pretty close to that one. Obviously, the preliminary HSBC PMI was negative, and obviously China imports most of its soybeans, so it only goes to show if things slow down there, demand for a lot of these other things, other commodities, might be an issue. Okay. Let's look. Copper was down 0.85, gold was down 10 at 16.88, and silver was down 87 cents at 31.09. So pretty steady. Let's have a look at some of the markets now, just a little bit more detail. There's the local market, local SPY. Keep an eye, obviously, breakthrough 4,050, up she goes, so quite happy about there. A little bit of I guess a slowdown here, 3,988. And let's see if that breaks through that area, it's continuation. As I said, be focused towards the PMI in China on the 1st. We'll run through some of that data as well, because if that occurs, then our market will come under a little bit more pressure. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar index. Dollar index, reason there, we've had a trade on for some time, and there it is. It's pretty much satisfied our target of 80. That's something we've had for quite a while, and quite happy for that to continue. There it is there, trading quite nicely. If we bring it into perspective and put it down into a daily chart, you can see that any correction still looks good for a buy. And when we've still got all these concerns in Europe, people will sell euro and buy dollars, and there you are. There's the daily chart, and there's that top there. So I've been quite happy with that trade. And let's see whether or not it breaks through or spends more time consolidation. It makes sense to spend a little bit more time consolidating, but who knows, in the state of Europe, sort of slowly deteriorating. Okay, let's have a look at some of the other markets, particularly crude. Crude on a daily chart, you can see things in Iran are still a concern there with the increase in trade sanctions. We have come back a little bit. I would think we'll probably expect to see it lower given the health of the economies at the moment, but Iran will be the main driver there at the moment. There was also news there on Al Jazeera that suggested that Iran had no hesitation of using it as leverage to get what they need. Okay, so that's basically there on the crude market. And if I have a quick look at gold, gold 1686 around that level. If you are long gold, we are expecting a bit of a move higher, but you've just got to be guided by about that 1660. That to me is a very key area for it. If you are long, you could probably put a stop in there, just so you don't get hurt too much. The market is quite volatile, as we're aware, and we can expect the volatility to continue. Okay, that pretty much looks at that. Let's have a look at some of the data coming out next week. Next week's going to be a fun week for data. There's no doubt about it. We do have quite a lot out, and I think it'll be quite interesting. I guess Monday, a little bit of data, CPI in Japan, which is pretty important. Tuesday, CPI in Germany. Let's keep an eye on, see how inflation's tracking there. New home sales in the States are pretty good there. Coming into Wednesday, I guess the most important thing we've got the Wednesday is just industrial confidence out of the EU and housing and consumer confidence in the States. IP in Japan, which will be pretty important too. Looking at Thursday, sorry, that's Wednesday, looking at Wednesday, Australian private sector credit will be pretty important. German unemployment will be pretty good. We need to keep an eye on that one. And I think that's probably pending home sales in the States and the Fed's beige book. We pretty much know what's going to happen there. Now, December the 1st, this is going to be an interesting day. Australian retail sales and building permits and Chinese manufacturing PMI. Look at that number, 49.850. The preliminary set it at 48. So if we get below 49.8, it'll confirm that that whole economy is contracting. Now, that might have significant fallout to Australia, so be careful, because obviously Australia exports a lot of its primary inputs to China. So if anything happens there, expect a little bit of a leak there. So that CR market a little bit under pressure. So be pretty close to the market on Thursday, and a little bit of data out on Thursday night in the States. But then we lead into the non-farm payrolls on Friday. That will be the key, to see how the US is actually weathering. How much effect is the US having as a result of China coming under pressure? And furthermore, if that PMI data is negative, yeah, then that will also affect the US as well. So I think that'll be quite interesting. But anyway, let's see how we travel. Well, that's pretty much about it from me. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and happy trading, and we'll talk to you soon, and bye for now.